Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Claxton, and along with me, as always, is the deft darling of DECA, Bethany McChesney. And today we have with us the one and only Nick Ryker. Nick, how's it going, buddy?
It's going well. How are you guys?
Good. And you're looking really well.
Thank you. I don't get told that a lot, so thank you.
They call me Ugly Dave, buddy. I got to spread the love.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Beth, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so Nick, especially for our viewers here who don't know very much about you. So from my understanding, you come from a collegiate track background. Is that correct?
Yeah. I only did 1 year of college track, but yeah, I come from that a little bit.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So then how did you transition from your collegiate track career into OCR?
So I guess I'll just go back. So 2015, I ran at a junior college. I ran the 1500 and did 1 year. I would have done 2 years, but the college cut the program, so not really my own discretion there. I would have done two. I had a lot of fun with it. And then just a couple of years went by in college, started weightlifting, gained a ton of weight, like muscle, and I was still running a little bit. And my best friend in college at the time did a Spartan race, and he came back and said, "You should do it." And I said, absolutely. So I signed up for it. I signed up for Elite Heat my junior year of college, kind of 2 years out of running, kind of basically, and was hooked ever since. I got 90th place, 9-0, and in the Elite Heat. But I knew it was something I wanted to pursue. I didn't think it would come this far to what I've been able to do, but that's kind of the transition there.
So 90th place though, which race was this? Because that's even a lot for a heat.
I think
so this is when everybody did the Elite Heat. This was 2016. Yeah, that was my junior year of college, starting my junior year of college. So everybody did the Elite Heat, and it was in Atlanta Spartan race at their Conyers International Race Park. Robert Killian was actually there. I think in a sprint, he beat me by like 30 or 40 minutes. So yeah. Just was not prepared. Wasn't prepared for the obstacles. I went into the dunk wall, got like hyperthermia. Like I wasn't having a fun time. But I'm glad my dad was there. I'm glad my dad thought like I even did awesome. Like, no, Dad, like people like you like could have beat me today. Like it was bad. And he's not a runner or anything. But if he wasn't there, I probably would have got the encouragement to do it again, definitely. So, but I'm glad I did it that way.
So you went from there, and then like obviously you did a few more here and there, and then what I think back to you is, and I think kind of a breakout moment for you would have been Jacksonville, U.S. National Series
in 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first race I felt like I belonged. Definitely, that's the first race I stepped to a line. I'm like, I am not scared of anybody here. I mean, I ended up getting 10th place, but I was in the mix in the top 5 for majority. I just missed my spear. And I still came all the way back from missing the spear and getting 10th place. So, like, that was the first race I went to, and I was like, okay, there's not a guy on the starting line like I'm just not, like, I'm terrified of. But I had, like, a big 2019 year that gave me the confidence to have that feeling in 2020.
So you went into that one, right? You came 10th, and 10th with a missed spear is freaking awesome. Like, let's just be real. U.S. National Series, 10th with a missed spear. That's fucking fantastic. Going into 2021, everything going right again. And I remember a lot of chat on the internet, a lot of chat in the Discord and everywhere it was, Nick Ryker is gonna show up this year, break through. Yeah. This is gonna be, his moment. And I mean, so again, we're back to Jacksonville. And I mean, just lay it out, man. How'd she go there? What happened there?
Yeah. So like all of 2020, I kind of had like an Achilles tendonitis. So I didn't get to train like I wanted to, but there was no races. So like it was kind of a year. I moved to Nashville. So I kind of just had all fun of 2020, just being like a 24-year-old. And then training got serious again at the end of that year. And yeah, I was in really good shape. I was hitting mileage I've never hit before. I was hitting times I've never hit before. I hit a 5K road PR, not a 5K, a 3-mile road PR. Like I was feeling great. Couple of weeks before Jacksonville, I started getting symptoms of what I found out was what I have now is ulcerative colitis. But I didn't know it at the time. I was I kind of kept it under wraps. I told a couple of people, I did tell like the people in the Discord, if you're in the Discord, like, hey, I'm a little sick, but if there's anybody who can race a little sick, it's going to be me. Like I've always taken pride being like a pretty gritty person, a pretty tough guy. But yeah, like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Like I had bloody diarrhea 30 times a day for 2 weeks before Jacksonville. Like I got up on my plane ride down to Jacksonville like 3 or 4 times in the middle of the flight, and I'm supposed to race the next day at the highest level I can. And like I still felt like, okay, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just got to get to the start line. I got to the start line, and instantly, like the week leading up to the race, like I was doing runs and I'm like, I can't move. I feel tired. I did like a 3x5 minute interval like I did a couple weeks before, and I couldn't hit close to that pace. So I was really worried, but I didn't want to tell anybody because, like, first of all, I don't want to make a pre-race excuse. And then second of all, you don't want to say it and then like you're racing side by side with somebody and they're like, oh, Nick's sick. Like, let me just put in a surge right here and he's not going to respond. So I kept it under wraps. And yeah, I didn't have any bounce in my stride. I didn't have any, my confidence was gone. I didn't have any bounce in my stride, but I hung in there and I was in like 7th place heading to the tire still. So if I got the tire, I have a good podium shot. But I couldn't get it. And then I ended up 11th place. And then it's kind of just all been downhill basically from there. But I'm on the uphill now.
So, I mean, to me, again, dude, like, honestly, U.S. National Series, I don't know how you actually got through the race, even hydration wise.
Yeah.
Like with that kind of stuff, like that's unbelievable. Like you definitely had the willpower there, and you must have been running on just guts.
Like, yeah, I mean, it was all adrenaline that got me to the line because, like, I wasn't able to train without using the bathroom for those 2 weeks before Jacksonville. Like, I was going to the bathroom 5 times in a 5-mile run, basically. So adrenaline got me there, and it got me through it. And yeah, like I had blood drawn afterwards. I had my stool samples, and like I had I was like anemic, basically. I had inflammation, like the blood showed like extreme inflammation in my body. That's when I didn't know what was wrong with me. So yeah, like I don't like to make an excuse, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I got 11th place with like a horrible condition that I was untreated.
And you missed the tire.
I missed the tire, and like, yeah. And but if the race was a week later, I couldn't even gone. Like it got bad like a week after, like real bad.
So did you go for testing then as soon as that race was done?
I mean, I went to go see my PCP, my primary care physician, the week of the race. Because the first week I was sick, I was like, okay, bug, parasite. Like you don't think of the worst. You think of I'm a healthy male, a healthy fitness 25-year-old guy. Like it's got to be some kind of bug or something I hate. And then when it didn't go away in a week, that's when it helps that my brother is a nurse. So he was kind of like, okay, go see if they can do anything. So I saw it, and she was like, even the PCP was like, man, it just sounds like you have a really bad bug. Because like I'm healthy, I've never shown a symptom, anything else. And that's when I came back, and I told her, like, I came back after the race. That was a week after I saw her. I was like, yeah, I'm not any better. And that's when we started ramping up like more testing and what was wrong with me.
That doesn't sound like a really bad bug to me. I feel like that was a little bit dismissive.
Yeah. I mean, looking back at it now, my PCP, I mean, she's amazing. I think she wanted to figure it out. Usually, like in the States, I know Dave, you're in Canada. Bethy, are you in Canada?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like, universal healthcare up there. So I don't know how different it is, but like you go to your PCP and they're like, okay, I don't know what's wrong with you. Send you to a specialist immediately.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it is everywhere. And then she was like, she just wanted to figure out what was wrong with me. So like, but there's only so much a PCP can actually do. But then they need like authorizations, prior auths, if they want to really do any big testing. So yeah, that kind of just delayed the process. But you don't think of ulcerative colitis, like my signs showed ulcerative colitis, but like I never had a symptom besides like that week before. Like sometimes you have some stories of people like a couple months, a couple years, like they have gut issues. I've never had a gut issue before. It just happened.
No food intolerances or nothing before.
Nothing, no. And I do have family history of, my grandparents on my mom's side have both passed away from colon cancer. And then I never knew it, but my grandpa on my dad's side had ulcerative colitis when he first developed it in his 20s. But like he went in remission soon, and he never talked about it. So I never knew, and my dad never even knew about it. So now looking back at that, you're like, okay, they should have looked at my family history a little bit more, probably. But I mean, I would have ended up the same spot that I'm in now. So like, you can't blame medical professionals. Yeah.
Hindsight's always 20/20 anyway, right? So
absolutely,
you finally get the diagnosis, and let's start ramping this up.
Yeah.
So you finally get the diagnosis, and then I mean that's got to be, in a way, a nasty shot, but I would think also a bit of a relief. Like I know what it is now. I know how to fight.
Yeah.
So what did you have to do to start coming back, to get back on the rebound? Because I mean, you dropped a lot of weight, obviously, things like that, right?
I dropped 30 pounds.
Wow.
And I'm not trying to be, you're not a big dude. Like
no, I don't have, I told everybody, like I have, I'm more muscular than most long distance runners and obstacle course racers, but like, I don't have much to lose. Like, I don't have much body fat. I don't have a ton of muscle. So like, yeah, I was 178 pounds to race in Jacksonville. And then in late April, I was 148 pounds. That's the lowest I saw the scale get to. So yeah, I dropped a ton of weight. I didn't have any energy because I would go to bed and then I would wake up about 10 to 15 times a night to go to the bathroom. So I wasn't sleeping. And then I would be dehydrated because of the bathroom. And then I had night sweats. And then you have this and that and this. And then it just got better. And I try to explain it like I feel like my body just finally snapped out of it. Medication finally started to help.
So you never had to have surgery? No.
Most people with this, they won't have to have surgery unless things get bad for many years, because that's the last option. Like your last option is a colostomy bag. Mm-hmm. Those help. Those usually, people don't show it, but that's your quality of life. Like me going to a race, like I couldn't race.
No.
Really, with a colostomy bag, Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think you've said probably a big change in the diet.
Yeah. I don't think the diet's the biggest thing. That's like everybody's different, and I've read a ton about ulcerative colitis, and they're like, yeah, it's not really the diet that causes it, but it can help you get back in remission. So like I ate like a normal 20-year-old active guy that didn't take his diet too seriously. So kind of clean, but pig out, go out, get something after you come home, like just that kind of food. And then I just kind of done with all the junk food, just done with all like grease, soda, alcohol, I'm done with it all. I just actually said I'm done with, like a couple weeks ago, I said, I'm done with alcohol. I can't even drink any carbonation anymore. Like, yeah, it's cool to live in Nashville and go out, but like, it's not worth it anymore. Like the next couple of days, how you feel. So yeah, the diet, it's a high protein diet. Try to be as gluten-free as possible. I used to be a huge pasta eater, but now I just tried gluten-free pasta yesterday and it was horrible. Like it was the worst thing. I might have not made it the best way, but like I just made it like regular pasta and it was just so bad. But like other gluten-free food, like there's been some gluten-free bread that's good, gluten-free mac and cheese that's good. So like it's came a long way. Because like I said, my grandparents were gluten-free. Like they had colon cancer, they had gluten-free. And I remember going to like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it was just like the worst food in the world. So it's came a long way since then. But the diet has been big, and I was taking up to like 12 prescriptive medicine pills every day, and now I'm down to 1. But then I take a lot of supplements just over the counter, like prebiotics, probiotics, aloe. what's that thing when you get sunburn alloy and you put on you to
Aloe vera.
Aloe vera, yeah. So they make that, you know, in a drink, and I drink that. That helps for my inflammation.
You did look very white. I mean,
I am very white. Yeah, I am very white. Yeah, no tanning in me. So it's just been a lifestyle change. It's been tough, but it's going to turn out to be the best thing that could have ever happened to me, I hope.
Definitely silver lining, man. So you're feeling better. You're going better now. You moved to Nashville. You're working at a gym, right?
Yes.
So you're able to get back and start training again. Let's get out of the doldrum. Let's sucker back up, right? So you're starting to train again. You're getting back into shape. How's that going? How did your training start? Like when you were able to
so you know, I kind of like told myself I'm not going to race for the rest of the year. Like there's no reason to try to race or prove anything. There's no reason to do anything because running itself is already hard on the gut without having a gut issue. So the goal was, all right, weight has to come back on before anything. So at my gym, we have group strength classes. So I started doing those again, and those went well. And I started gaining my weight back. And then out of nowhere, I gained all my weight back. And I was like, okay, let me just cycle a little bit. Let me get some cardio in, cycling on my Swift outside. And that was good. And then I was like, oh, let me just run around my park a couple of times. And I had to use a bathroom, but that's whatever. And then I was like, I think I can do this. I think I can do a race this year. And the big thing that kind of snapped me out of it, I went down to Hildervat to help Matt B. Davis with his live feed. And I was a rabbit. And like my first run back was basically a 32 by 400 meter workout chasing the top people at Hildervat. And I came after that, I was like, okay, my engine is still there. My aerobic is not there. My speed's not there, but the engine is still good. And I just went back into running, a different kind of running, you know, like it's hard on my gut. So I have a park right outside my house. It's a half-mile loop, and I'll just do that loop. And I have to go to the bathroom, and then I just get right back out there. And it's just like, you got to be mentally tough. And then Rich Ryan and I are really good friends. And I was like, Rich, I think I should do Dekafit in Jacksonville. I was like, first of all, it's the same weekend as High Rock, so cherry pick, same weekend as Fayetteville. So like, I want to do a race that also like get on the podium. So I cherry picked it kind of, but yeah, that's kind of how it just started. It was, you know, little steps, and then finally saying, hey, I'm not done yet this year. Like I still have the rest of the year to make this the best year that's ever happened to me. So yeah, that's kind of how I've been looking at it. And you know, training's different. I have to get up even earlier than I'm a morning guy, and I have to get up even earlier to clean out my system. If I want to go to the trails, get out there before anybody else does. Because I don't want to, you know, somebody to see me if I have to use the bathroom out there. So it's a lifestyle change. But if I've talked to a lot of people, if you want it bad enough, there's a way to get around anything. That's kind of how I've been doing it the last 2 months now, 2.5 months.
So, I mean, like I say, triumphant return and you decided to go back to Deca. Now, this is interesting because normally you would do a Spartan type thing. That's your jam, but you decided to switch over and try the Deca. And I think it's self-explanatory why. Just, you know, easier running. You're not out in the woods. You're you know, a 30-minute effort, and worst case scenario, there's emergency stops.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I was able to train in my gym, a lot for this. So it helped.
So you went out there, and when you say, okay, I'm going to actually argue with a bit here, because you say you picked your spot, and maybe you did, but you put in a time of 32:09, which even in the race, say, where Rich Ryan and David McGee there, you would have still been on the podium on that one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, pick your spots, maybe, but you still fucking smoked it. Like you came out on fire, man.
Yeah.
And I watched that stream. I didn't like the commentator, but I watched the stream.
Yeah.
And, you ran away with it, like right off the hop. So let's just run through it. How did it feel? Like you came out of the gates. How do you feel throughout the race?
Man, like that was at that point was the longest effort I've been able to do a workout without having to use the bathroom. So like I was really nervous going into it because if you have to use an emergency stop there, you're not going to win the race. You're not going to be on the podium. It's too quick, you know? But again, you just got to get there. You got to get to the starting line and you got to bet on your adrenaline taking over. And that's what it did. It helped that the race wasn't until like 11 a.m. So I was able to like clear anything out and then be good. And I'm good with fasting and racing. I usually like to fast the mornings of anyway. So, what was your exact question again? I just know like my stomach hurt at the beginning, and then it felt like I was just the old Nick racing again.
Yeah, you know what? That answers it enough.
Okay. Yeah.
I was pretty much just, you came out of the gate, you were running really strong.
Yeah.
Wasn't too long. Like, at what point when you're running that race, if you remember, because I mean it's been a little while, did you start to get your mind off of how you felt and testing into all of a sudden, I'm not Nick concerned about my health now. I'm Nick. I'm running a race now.
I think after the first running station, because the first lap, my gut was starting to hurt a little. Mm-hmm. And then I got in there and did the reverse lunges and I never looked back and I was good. I got out hot. I told myself like, even though I was sick, I'm still like probably the guy to win today. And I didn't want to give anybody else like any confidence that they can kind of like stick around. Because I wanted to kind of just cruise in there the last couple of stations. I mean, there was a lot of good athletes there, but at the same time, like I wanted to show them like I'm here, I'm ready to race, and everybody's racing for like second. That's what I kind of wanted to have the mindset of.
That's perfect, man.
Yeah.
So when you finished the race, or you just said there like you wanted to maybe kind of coast in the last couple of zones.
Yeah.
You did create a really good lead for yourself. And I mean, like I equivalent this to Spartan where you had your chance, you could miss the spear and you could still coast across the finish line, right?
Yeah.
Did you back off the accelerator a bit? Did you coast it in or did you just stay on keep your foot
I did. Like I wanted to hit the stations hard. Mm-hmm. Like I wanted to hit every station like hard. But the last 3 runs, like I definitely, if you look at my splits, it even tells the story like, I should have probably sent you my splits before this day, but like it tells a story like, yeah, I backed off and I wanted to just, I just wanted to feel good about it all. Because I was like, okay, I'm still training for Asheville. So I wanted to be able to make sure I race DECA and not be too sore for the next day or the day after that where I couldn't train. Like I wanted to keep training the next day. So yeah, the last couple ones I was able to take off the gas pedal a little bit.
And you can tell, like you say, and I mean, I don't have your exact splits, but I do have your 5K time total, which is about a 17:59.
Yeah.
And I know you are capable of much more than that. So you definitely, like you said, you went out hot, so you backed off. But you can also see on the zones, I mean, you were 42 seconds on the lunges. That's quick. You were coasting through, you were cruising through there. The rower was like 2 minutes. And after that run, I mean, I can beat that, but that's fine. But,
well, you got to count the transition time, Dave. I got my feet got stuck in the freaking clips. I thought I was going to be stuck there forever.
You know what? I've heard that everybody seems to forget. Like, you get on that rower. I just bought a new rower, so I'm dying to talk about it.
Yeah.
But you get on it, and it's like you could put a lot more effort, and you'll gain maybe 3-4 seconds.
Yeah.
You can lose double that fiddling with your feet.
Yeah, like I was. My shoes just got stuck in there, and I was Yancey was yelling, "Come on, Nick!" I was like, I don't know how to get them out. Like somebody do it for me. I don't know how to get them out right now.
It would have been really good if you just threw your hand and went, "Fuck it up, that's it, I'm out."
Yeah, I'm out.
I got nothing.
The comeback in as quickly as it started.
So you actually said something cool there. Back to training for Asheville.
Yeah. So
you're feeling like confident because that was one of the questions I had was. Are you going to have to kind of pivot to hybrid racing just because of the, like I said, the convenience to being able to hit an emergency bathroom break if need be? Whereas if you're out on the trails in Spartan, I mean, hey, bears go in the woods, you still can, but
yeah,
it's a little bit different. But obviously you're feeling confident enough that you can go back to actual Spartan racing.
Yeah. It's going to be a while before I feel like I want to do a race that's over an hour though. Even like a High Rocks, it's like, I actually don't see myself ever doing a High Rocks really. I'm going to go big in a DECA and then obstacle course races out less than an hour. That's kind of going to be my wheelhouse for a while because it's just hard to, with just my condition now. It's just hard to train for a beast. It really is. And I never really liked training for a beast anyway. So it's even a better excuse for it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're throwing your first Deca coming back from, illness, recovering, all that going on and letting off the pedal, and you're setting times faster than Forrest Bogue, honestly, yeah, maybe you should do a few more Decas.
Yeah. I already told Rich, like, him and I got to throw down on one. Like, I'm ready to throw down with Rich at a Dekafit.
Would love to see that. To see you, Rich, and Megita all on the one thing. Although I think, Megita lends himself more to the power, but just, that'd be a great race.
Yeah, awesome. Absolutely.
So,
well, and we are seeing people starting to specialize a little bit more anyways into short courses or long courses. So maybe that's just then for you too. And although your situation might have dictated that, but I mean, that's kind of the way this sport seems to be headed anyways.
Yeah. And, I know eventually, like, my wheelhouse is races, like a stadium race, a Spartan Sprint, Super Deca. Like, I've always known that's my wheelhouse. Like, I'm able to redline for a solid 30 minutes, like way past like what my talent is. And that's just, I just wanted to go after the Spartan National Series at least once or twice while I'm able to have this great running ability. But I've always known, like, these shorter stuff, that's going to be my wheelhouse for a long time.
Now, what about stuff like, and I mean, VJ is obviously the same direction for the short stuff. What about something like OCRWC? Is that on the radar? Or I don't know a lot about your obstacle ability.
Yeah. So, like, I'll have to get a little better obstacles, but that's on the radar, definitely. I think I can do, I've always thought myself as a better athlete, like a pretty good athlete, be able to do those obstacles. It's just not cheap getting up all the way up to wherever that race is at for OCR Vermont. Worlds right now. So in Vermont.
Wait. Where are you?
I'm in Nashville. Yeah.
Dude, I drove to Alabama for a Savage. I mean, come on, man.
That doesn't seem like that was a good return on investment, but yeah.
I didn't say it's smart. I said it's doable.
Yeah, I mean, it's doable. Yeah, I mean, it's doable, but I got to look at, everything with it. But yeah, I'm, OCR. I wish we had NORAMs and OCR was like in London, because I would for sure go to London to do it again. I mean, to do it. So yeah, the 3K is definitely on the radar one day.
I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I think it's probably the most exciting race in OCR. It's definitely, you got to hit it. You got to do it. And
yeah.
And Stratton is a great location. I still say jump in that damn car and drive out there, Nick.
Yeah, I might do it. I mean, I might do it. I might see if somebody wants to ride with me. If somebody wants to ride with me, I'll do it.
There you go. There's got to be. You know what? I know a lot of people out your way. They'll get you in the car. They'll take it.
Actually, my dad just retired after being in education for like 35 years, so he might just do it.
There you go.
Yeah, he needs something to do.
We can get you set up with the same girl that drove Leon around for the Savages, but unfortunately, she wasn't very good luck. And you take your risk if you like.
What a saint!
All right. So actually, unlike a lot of the Spartans or pros that we talk to here, Nick, you're like a big fan of the sport. You follow. You're paying attention. You're not just doing your thing. So I would love with the two of you to go through a lot of the stuff that has happened this weekend. I mean, there's been a lot going on. The first one, it started out with Ryan and Lindsay heading down to Utah, and all of a sudden dropping that, hey, we're not getting paid, right? We're not getting our contracts. And how does that, like, because both of you guys are both, I mean, Spartan pros, technically, not technically, depending on how you view this year.
Aru,
right? And it's very different up here. We still have our Spartan pros in Canada, which is bizarre. But how do you look at that? What do you think? Do you think Spartan's right in their doing so? How do you what's your take on the whole deal?
I mean, I got the same email. I'm sure Ryan and Lindsay got. They sent it out to everybody. I mean, Bethany, you probably got that. I mean, you got the email as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it was no shock they sent that. Like, I did expect that email back in January or February. Like, no contracts this year, but races are still paid for. It was just such a weird timing why they were sent that the day before the second U.S. National Series race. because we all knew it. Like, we all knew that was the case. So why, if you were going to say that, I don't. And the way they worded that, it's just what rubbed everybody the wrong way. I feel like you are now free. I think that was the words, to do what you want with your sponsorships. Like, okay, like, who are you to tell me that? Like, we didn't have a contract this year, so like, why are you just now telling me that right now? Like it was just the weirdest timing, and I don't know why they sent it out the time they sent it out.
Yeah. Now, I from Spartan's perspective, I think it's just normal business, and like you said, everybody saw it come. Should have been done in January, November, December. Like, yeah, they knew the situation. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. Again, return on investment to pay the Spartan pros for this year, but the timing was silly. Like you said, you were banging the money. What do you guys feel about that? Like, do you think now that Spartan has done this, do you think going forward they'll be more lenient if there is Spartan? Like, one, do you think the team will even come back in the same way, or do you think if they do come back, it'll be just a few people this time, or they'll trim it down?
Via the email, it sounds like they're going to trim it down. It says 2022 pro roster. I don't even know if I'm allowed to read this, but I'm going to do it.
While we can all see it.
Yeah, while we navigate.
I posted it all online.
Yeah. While we navigate to 2021, we are looking forward to 2022. Requires making the 2022 pro roster, along with a breakdown of the system broken into 3 tiers, will be released in the coming weeks. So this has been my biggest thing on the pro team. Like, I'm glad I was on it. I always wanted to be on it, training. I wish I got on it when there wasn't 250 other people on there. But we've always wanted to see, okay, how does somebody make the pro team? What is the criteria? Where do I need to go? What do I need to do the races? So it sounds like they're doing that in 2022, like actually showing us the criteria you have to meet to be this certain tier. Before, it was kind of like, okay, who's Spartan's favorite person? Who's made the most noise on social media?
Instagram followers.
I was just going to ask, does it say on the bottom of that list how many Instagram followers you need?
It doesn't. I mean, in 2019, I wasn't on the pro team, and I felt like I got shafted because I had a good 2018 year. So I did every hashtag not a Spartan pro team member. So, like, is that just whoever's going to do okay and make the most noise? Because I tagged Spartan every post, and I did that hashtag, and I had a lot of people behind me like, he should be on the pro, and now I was on the team, and it's like, okay, this is not even that cool. So, like, but I'm grateful I'm on it. Like, I'm happy I'm on it. I'm happy. Like, if there wasn't Spartan, I wouldn't really be doing anything else besides working. So, like, I'm glad they are able to, sponsor this many people, but there should always be like something we're reaching for. And I'm glad it sounds like we're going to have that, like, well, we're going to know what to reach for, like how to get there.
Yeah, that's a good point, to just have it defined how you get on it. Because I never knew before how you got on it. And I kind of was the same thing. I felt a little bit shafted in 2019, but also not, because I didn't race that much in the US. But, and then I was like, I don't know then what the difference was the next year when I was. So yeah, just so that it's very clearly laid out, and not just, I was like, well, did I just get more Instagram followers in a year and now I'm okay? Or like, I won about the same amount of races. I raced a little bit more in the state. So it's like, what was it then that changed from one year to the next? So when it's very clearly defined, then people kind of know what they have to do to get there.
Yeah. And then, like, how do you become a tier 1? Because, okay, what if I beat Ryan Atkins twice a year? Does that qualify for tier 1? Or do I have to, like, be top 5 in the US National Series? So if they go through with it, this is going to be the proper way of them doing a proper pro team, I feel like.
I agree. So there's no way they'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good possibility. Or their tiers are going to be kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Like how to do it. It's going to be like, okay, you didn't ask a single athlete like their opinion on who should be tier 1, 2 tier, or tier 3.
No. I mean, I've been snubbed for 5 years, so don't worry about it. It does turn out you need to be good. And
yeah,
there was that.
Okay. Yeah.
One of the good things I think, though, that is come out of this is the podium shirts. And I know it sounds silly. It sounds stupid. People may be out there and thinking, this is a silly thing. Who cares what freaking shirt you wear on a podium? But if I'm a sponsor, for example, we got a company, Force 5, right here, right?
Right there, yeah.
Right there. It took me a while to figure out which side it was on. But if I'm running Force 5 and I want to sponsor an athlete and they go to Spartan and they can't wear my Force 5 shirt on the podium, what the hell is the point?
Yeah.
Right. So this, by being able to do this, it's going to attract sponsors. It is going to give you guys chances to get sponsors that might jump on board. I think it's going to be one of the best things that come out of this. And I was really excited this weekend to see the podium pictures.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Well, and that's how it is in every other sport. So it's just like, okay, we've just kind of now caught up.
Yeah, I mean, you see the Tour de France, people are on every stage when they get to rep their sponsors, and then they'll be on the podium for the biggest race in cycling. They'll get to have their sponsors' logos and shirts on them. It's just silly that nobody ever got to do this before. And like, they just said, like, no, that hasn't been the case in the past. Like, we have been told, like, I at Wrigley Field in 2019, I saw Isaiah Vidal wearing a normal, like, whatever team he is sponsored by, and they said he had to wear this Spartan finisher shirt, and the only one they had in this guy's hand was like an extra small, and he put it on Isaiah Vidal, and it was like the tightest thing I've ever seen in my life. And like, he was like, this is kind of bull crap. And I was like, yeah, I mean, look at you look silly. You got this tight shirt on. Like, they forced him to, and they said, like, you have to have it or you can't go on the podium.
Yeah.
So
especially if he has sponsors paying a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah. And it's just weird. I never know why that was a thing. No other OCR race you have to wear their shirt for anything. Or any road race, track race.
Triathlons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked back at the pictures, and so I checked this out. I looked at your DECA podium picture, and every one of you in a DECA shirt, and I was wondering, was it the same there? Did they give you the shirt and tell you...
Yeah, they gave us a shirt. It said you have your finisher shirt on and your finisher medal. And like, I wanted to wear my gym. I mean, that's who my employer is. I wanted to wear them because they don't sponsor me, but they are very cool with like, hey, you need to take off a Thursday or Friday or Monday to go race. Like, we want you to be able to do that. That only helps us. Like, because the D1 is a national franchise. Like, it only helps us if you do well and you're able to show off D1. So I didn't post on Instagram my Dekafit shirt. I posted my D1 shirt because they're really the ones who, Deca, Yancey, I didn't have to pay for the race. Like, they're amazing people, and he has my back. And, I would do, if Yancey told me to do anything, I would probably do it because I trust him. He's been great for me as a mentor, but at the same time, like, they're not helping me pay any bills. So yeah.
No, and again, same with us. We all the respect in the world for Yancey. He's a great guy, and we love the whole program, the DECA program. But yeah, you guys gotta be able to do your thing. I mean, I know as soon as I saw that, I was thinking about Bethany, and she runs her own gym, and I'm like, I'm sure she wants to stand on that podium wearing the Fit Farm jersey and not Spartan. And I don't understand why Spartan never did, like, especially with I can't remember his name, Watson being such the F1 Formula One guy. Everything's got to be F1. Well, let you guys wear your shirts. Here's a Spartan hat. Put the hat on the podium. Wear your sponsor shirt. We're good to go. I mean, there's a giant sponsor.
Or the giant backdrop behind with Spartan's logos all over it.
Yeah, like we're clearly at a Spartan race, with that backdrop.
The check, like everything says Spartan on it.
Yeah. So
anyway, I think it's the great thing to come of it. It's, again, sad that it came out the way it did.
Yeah.
However, it's worked out great for Bethany because she is the poster child for the Spartan race jersey this year. It does say McChesney on it, and very exciting.
Wow, that's pretty good.
It's just like being on the cover of a video game for hockey and basketball.
Everyone's like, what's this McChesney name?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It does look a little Christmassy, though. Someone pointed that out on Discord, and I looked at it. I'm like, oh my God, it kind of does. It's got a little bit of a Christmas sweater.
Okay, I actually thought it looked like, it reminded me of Moana. Have you seen this kid's movie?
I have.
Yeah.
Okay, so it reminded me of the guy's tattoos in Moana.
Yeah, it does look like that.
Okay, that's what I thought of.
I think that's what they were going for.
I think so.
All right, so let's move to the actual race this weekend. Did you get a chance to watch the feed at all?
I watched the feed, like, the best, kept up with it yesterday as best I can. I know they posted something today to YouTube, but I haven't been able to watch that.
Okay, it's actually not bad. It's pretty good.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
not too bad. They obviously summed it up down to about 38 minutes in that neck of the woods. No real commentary, a little bit sideline commentary from Megita and from Hammond, and they do a great job. This is all I'm going to say about the comedy. One thing. Every time they went to an obstacle, they would darken the screen, show the course map, and I couldn't see the people go over the obstacle. I'm like, seriously, I just watched them run through the woods. You could have done it there, but no, you black it out. Just a little pet peeve. Other than that, I was happy. But new blood, right?
Yeah.
Young blood. This should appeal to you, Nick, right?
It does. It kind of, So I've been a little under the weather this weekend, but I saw people younger than me like getting on a Spartan Race National Series podium. It was like, okay, I don't care if I'm sick, I'm gonna go train, because like I've always been very much like nobody younger than me, because I'm 25, and like when I was 23 racing really, I was like nobody younger than me can beat me. Like I'm the young guy in the sport, and now we got these two other young guys, and it's like, and now it just makes me want to work harder, but it's exciting. That it seems like we're gonna have a good group of people for a long time.
So I watched that and I was thinking, if you and obviously congrats to Ryan and Lindsay. We'll wave the Canadian flag. Awesome.
Shout out. Yeah.
Take them out. Let's remove them from the equation. And all of a sudden, picking a podium is near impossible.
Yeah. I think going back to Jacksonville this year, people are like, oh, Ryan Lindsay's not there. Like, it's not like, but like for the rest of us, it was exciting. Like a podium spot basically just opened up. So that's why you saw a lot of competitive races. There's a lot of tight races in Jacksonville. And like when they're not there, I mean, you want them to be there because they're the best, but like it's exciting because it gives somebody else an opportunity. Like Logan Broadman got third in Jacksonville. Like if Ryan Atkins was there, Logan probably doesn't get a National Series podium, that his first one ever. So it's exciting. To see, and now it's exciting to see younger people give. I think Rylan at the sprint was less than a minute away from Atkins today. So like it's just exciting to see what the podium's going to open up here soon.
Yeah, Logan has been on a tear.
Yeah, that's my guy too. Yeah, he's a beast.
What he did at Indian Mud Run, just unbelievable. Like
just a beast. He just recorded with Dude Perfect. Boomerang trick shots. The guy's just a beast.
He did?
Yeah,
my son is obsessed with Dude Perfect.
I love Dude Perfect too. And like he just got done. He's done one video with them, and the second one's coming out here soon.
He's just fantastic. I mean, I know he's killer obstacles, obviously, but I didn't realize how good he was on that super technical terrain. Because I mean, Indian Mud Run is just horrible terrain.
Yeah.
So we got to talk to him eventually, but I was super impressed. Anyway, but yeah, like you say, it's opened the door for this to happen. And I think that it's going to continue. Like, I don't think you can see, I mean, Ryan looked very much in control of this race, but let's be honest, this is a mountain and it's a beast course.
Yeah.
You couldn't draw it up better for me.
No.
Right. No. And the same for Lindsay. You put these guys on a flat sprint with Atkins, and all of a sudden, maybe they can run with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you have Sean Roberts. Like, if he was able to do the Jacksonville race or another National Series race, like say like Seattle, I mean, he's got to be a favorite to win him now. It's a good like coming out of a pandemic year is a good time. I feel like with the athletes, we're in a good spot with the sport.
So one little thing that happened in the race, and I thought it was nothing, but some people talked about it, Atkins dropping the Atlas ball.
Yeah,
and I think it really just needed clarity. So rules state he can actually set it down if he wants, as long as he picks it back up and starts from then. And so he did nothing wrong. He was good. It's not like he got the thing, but I did hear some people saying that Hammond essentially coaching him from the sideline is a bit of an advantage. And I have my opinion on that, but I'll just let you see what you guys think about that.
I mean, when I saw, everything looked fine. Like, Ryan, he like threw, like it fell off his shoulder and it went all the way to the starting line. Like, okay, something's not right there. And if you read the rules, if you place it down right then and there, you can pick it back up from that spot. But like if you roll it, I think that's a failure and you have to do it again. Ryan might not have known that, but like in CrossFit, if you do a no rep, there's a judge that's saying no rep, do it again. So that's how I kind of took that. Like, Hammond's there being a ref saying, no, you failed that, do it again. I had no problem with, like, I mean, who am I to say, but like Hammond, like, he's one of the top guys in Spartan. Like, yeah, he was a rabbit that day, but he designed that course. He knows the rules. He's wearing a blue shirt. I don't think there was any other judge, like a head official there. So for him to say, Ryan, that was a fail to do that, I think that was the correct call.
I agree with you. I do as well. The other side of it, the other part of it that I have is that the people were like, well, he's coaching from the sideline. And honestly, that's fine. He can coach because it's no different than if Lindsay had been standing there and telling him, hey, you do this. He didn't interfere in the race. He didn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
So I was totally okay with it. I thought Hammond did the right thing. No issues whatsoever. But just wanted to address because I think a lot of people get a little fuzzy on that rule and got confused.
Yeah. I don't know. People want to, I don't know.
People like drama.
I'm not going to say, never mind.
It would be very different too if it changed the outcome of the race, but nothing changed in the end.
Yeah. Like it was fine. I mean, the only difference between like if the 6th place guy was there and there was no head judge, would they have been able to like just roll it in? And probably that's the fault of having an understaffed event on a national stage. You know, you're going to have that. I'm a basketball official. I've been officiating basketball for 6 years now. Like like it happens. Like there's the craziest things in officiating happens, and you know everything usually evens itself out, and usually everything happens like fine. It always evens out. It seems like.
Yeah, and again, like I said, it's much to do about nothing, but just that. There was actually something that caught me off guard. Was Hawk doing the Hercois with both feet up on the.
Okay, I saw this too. That's not allowed, right?
That's what I thought.
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know why it wouldn't be.
You have to have 1 foot on the ground.
It used to be that. It was. So before it used to be you could have both feet on the thing and pull it down. Then they changed it to 1 foot on the ground because they had people standing right up on the on the bar, leaning back with all their weight. And essentially that's how they pull it up. They didn't like that. So they moved it to 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot on the bar. But now I went back and I looked at the rules today after seeing that. That's not right. And it turns out it's okay now again. So
this helps me.
What's that?
This helps me.
I keep telling you, you Spartan pros and elites, you never read the goddamn rules.
Well, why do they change them and then change them back and then change them?
Moving target constantly. Like everything's
sports. Yeah.
Keeps you guessing. That's obstacle 1. Find. It's hard to find. And then read the rules. It's impossible.
Do you want to talk about super shoes and Deca or?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to like give it out there. Like,
hold on, because this is Bethany's world. Bethany, get in on the shoes.
What are we talking about? The Spartan super shoes, the speed shoes?
No. I was talking about the super row shoes, like Saucony Pros or.
Oh, you're talking about
Alpha Flies. Yeah. So like I wore my Saucony Endorphin Speeds.
Yeah.
The super shoe for Saucony for the Dekafit. And I didn't train in them like in the gym whatsoever. I was pretty skeptical of using them because, you know, that foam, I don't know how unbalanced I was going to be. But then I started the warm up. I put my normal like trainers on. And I was like, let me just try the Saucony Pros. Like, let me just try them out on doing like a box jump. I was like, okay, a box jump's fine. Let me try it out doing lunges. Like, oh, lunges are fine. So then I just wore them. And all I gotta say, if anybody wants to do it for Deca, you definitely should. Like first of all, they do make you faster, and they held up everything. The only thing I felt unstable on was my burpees, but that was the last thing. That's the last thing you have to do. So, I recommend anybody wants to do a Dekafit.
Yeah, so these propulsion plates, they for people that kind of understand why you might feel unstable, is they rock your feet a little bit, so they have a rocker plate. So there's a propulsion factor, and then they also rock you a little bit internally, so that it follows that natural movement of how your foot is supposed to go. So like if you were trying to balance on 1 foot, you would feel a little bit more unstable. Yeah,
and that's why I didn't even touch them in my gym. Because like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do box step overs with them. And then I just did it, and I went, okay, it's actually not that bad. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I highly recommend them. I mean, they do make you faster, and they don't slow you down on the stations, really.
Yeah.
So you never use these shoes in the gym.
No. I brought them,
Your
though.
thought was, I'm going to bring them anyway because the best time to use them is my comeback race.
That's right. But I just brought them because, like,
Did you try them on for?
Well, yeah, I wear them in like long runs and training. Yeah. So I know how they feel running. But I was like, for any race, I'll bring 3 or 4 different pairs of shoes. So I just brought it, and I was texting Rich Ryan. I was like, should I do this? Right? I haven't even trained him. He goes, just test them out, and I tested them out on every station in the warm up area, and they were fine. And I'm glad I did because I was the only one who wore them like a super shoe out there.
Yeah, they say like it makes a difference of up to 4% in your running economy. So
no, I really, especially like on longer like progression runs or tempo runs, like I have felt like I don't ever want to do a 5K in them because I feel like that won't be my actual PR. Because like I don't like training them in too much because like I'm an obstacle course racer. I have my stats like am I fit before I go do an obstacle course race, but if I do those same workouts in my super shoes, like I don't know if I'm fit or not. I just know like these shoes make me faster.
It's interesting because at this point in the world of track and road racing, there's no point lining up for a competitive road race or track race not wearing a version of them. And Absolutely. At this point, most companies have them. So what actually happened this year at the Olympic trials on the track, because they've also now have versions of them in track spikes.
Yeah.
Some people actually were allowed out of their contracts with certain companies to switch to other companies because they couldn't match the shoes that were allowed on the track. So it's just at this point, when it comes to road racing and track racing, it's silly for you not to be wearing propulsion plated shoes.
Yeah. I mean, but then like you go to like the trail world or like the obstacle course racing world, it's like, I need to be able to, I just can't do speed work on trails every day. Like it takes time to go out there, so like I have to do it on the road, but you try to mimic your road workouts as best you can for obstacle course racing. And then those shoes just throw everything off. But I think the American distance runner, Schneider's her last name. She got out of her Under Armour contract. Yeah, Rachel Schneider, she got out of her Under Armour contract so she can go to Hoka because they have better track spikes.
Yeah, so Under Armour had promised that they would produce a comparable track spike and actually road racing flat as well, and they just couldn't produce it in time. So they allowed her out of her contract right before the Olympic trials, And she's going to the Olympics, so.
Yeah, I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do, yeah.
Is it quite literally like taking a knife to a gunfight?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So the one thing I want to be clear on though, like, so just for anybody listening, if you're a 25-minute 5K person, this isn't going to make you a 20-minute 5K person, okay? But it gives you that.
We're talking like when you're talking about at the best of the best, and a 4% difference is the difference between making the Olympic team and not. Like you just need it, but no, you're not going to go from a 25-minute to a 20-minute. No. We're talking about like that fraction.
But if you're a 14 flat 5K guy, you might just turn into a 13:45 5K guy with the same exact workouts.
All right, I'm going to write down the brand because that's me. That's what I am.
Yeah, that's what you are. I'm nowhere close to that, so like I don't know.
Pretty much right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. No, this fan, because actually I was curious, as not as many people have been out there as to what shoes they were using for Deka and stuff. We hear a lot about the high rocks with the pushing the sled and how important it is for that, but with Deka we haven't heard as much. So yeah, it's interesting to hear that it made that big of a difference for you, that it felt that good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much slower I would have ran without him. Maybe I would have ran like an 18:20 5K, but that's 20 seconds right there. And a lot, like you said, if I'm in a race with somebody, I mean, right a little bit faster than me, they're not wearing them, then you never know. You want to go to a race with the best possible gear you could possibly do. I would recommend, testing them out before you go to a race, unlike me, but you gotta, I thought when I saw the Alpha Flies and the Vapor Flies on the marathon attempts, I was totally against them. I was like, this is not right. And then I got a pair of Saucony's Pros for Christmas, and I just became a different person. Like I am all on the train.
So why would it be not right? Why would, and I'm been curious about this. Why would it not? And I don't know how you felt about it, Beth. Why is it not right to use those for the marathon stuff? Why did you feel initially that that's like an unfair advantage?
So initially, like me personally, it felt like because only at the time when Eliud Kipchoge ran his race, it's like, he's the only one who could have done that. He's the only one who could have ran a sub 2 hour marathon in the entire world, but he's the only one who had access to those shoes. So I was like,
they were a prototype at the time.
Yeah. So I was like, that's kind of unfair if he does set this record, because like nobody else would able to have this ability to set the record because they don't have the access to the shoe. He's the only one. But now since everybody has access to it, it's completely fair, and you got to do what you got to do. But like, yeah, at the time I was like, that's not right. But
so for a while they didn't allow them because only Nike
exactly
had, and then if you're a sponsored athlete with Saucony or Hoka or whoever else, but then once other companies were able to catch up and they were all able to produce their own carbon plated propulsion shoes, then they started to allow them.
Yeah.
There's still regulations as far as stack height and everything else, but you are allowed to wear them. I just don't like it too because it definitely, it's like, well, now you just need to buy these shoes or you're just not. And it always bothers me when it kind of takes out the human aspect of things. Like, it's like now it's like, well, their shoes help, like, and it's the same what's happening in Canada too. Since they've allowed these shoes over the last 2 years, our records on the roads have just been dropping like crazy. And it's like, okay, but then does that make the records that were set before even a little bit more impressive? Like,
and it does.
Those shoes, what would they have run? So I don't know. That's where it gets frustrating to me too, is records are just being destroyed.
Yeah. But you still have like Ryan Hall still has the U.S. American marathon and half marathon record without the super shoes. And that's really impressive.
Exactly.
Like, he could have been, I think he ran like a 2:04. He could have been like a 2:02 guy. And that's just really awesome to see still. But yeah, and it kind of takes out the, when I grew up running, it's like all I needed was a pair of running shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, all you need is a pair of running shoes, but they're $250 and you get them for 2 months. Instead, I used to wear my $100 Asics for an entire cross country season in high school.
Yeah, because these shoes too, they have a very, very short lifespan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They wear out really fast, and they're 2 or 3 times as much as other running shoes.
Yeah, so that's kind of like, oh, you do only need a pair of shoes to run, but you got to actually have some good money with you to get them.
Yeah, and again, now we create more of a divide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's no different than any other sport, right? I mean, you lost big time with hockey, and I'm sure you've gone through it with your kids, Beth. Hockey sticks went from a $20 piece of wood when I was playing to now to get a stick for under $200. It's difficult, right? They're all carbon fiber, they all have super flexes. It's crazy. The advancement of technology is just going to keep happening. There's no way to hold it back.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same thing. You guys are right. I think they designed these things on purpose to work amazing and burn out fast.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A $300 pair of running shoes that you can wear for 3 marathons, and then you have to buy another one.
Mm-hmm.
That's smart business. I like it.
I do too, kind of. And I'm all about, though, I want to see what the human body can do. Like, like how fast can somebody get? How strong can somebody be? So if there's a legal way of doing it, I'm all about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just such a purist.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to run barefoot. No.
I hear you.
In the sense, no, but I mean, I'm sure in basketball, you say you referee a lot of games. I'm sure the difference now in some of the kids playing basketball compared to even when you were younger, and that's not that long ago.
Yeah.
The difference is unreal. And again, I'm sure they're wearing more up-to-date, technically proficient shoes than what we had. I mean,
no, they are. Yeah.
I remember playing basketball in old-fashioned Converse, like that were literally cloth. I mean, so anyway, that's awesome, man. Nick, I think we're out of time, man. It was amazing. Thank you very much. I can't wait to see you race in Nashville. Really looking forward to it. And
I'm ready to rip it. I'm telling myself for the rest of the year, I have literally nothing to prove, nothing to lose, but everything to gain when I race now. So I might not be able to train like I used to, the volume, but I'm I'm just ready. I'm ready to rip.
Any more decas on the calendar?
Yeah, I'll be in September 18th. It's in like New Jersey, I think. I'll be there. And I think they have another one, but I won't be able to make it. But I think they have one in Denver, but they haven't put a date on it yet. So I'm going to try to go as many I can this year.
Yeah, September, sometime in September in Denver.
Okay, then I'll probably be there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you heard it. You're racing for second that day, guys.
That's right.
Thanks so much, Nick. It's really inspiring what you've come back from this season. So all the best with the rest of your season, and thanks so much for giving us some awesome things to talk about.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.